So guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we are today going to do some more DIY repairs to my Ford Transit Connect 2011. As I mentioned in my previous video, we will be changing the tyres, which we've done now, and I hope you found that video quite informative. It's a bit of a challenge using this. If you go to a tyre place, they have mechanical equipment and hydraulic equipment, but as you can see, the tyres did need replacing. They're really worn, and as you can see, they are rubbing off at the sides. What they're called towing in and towing out. So that being said, that's what we're going to be doing today, is changing the track rod ends with these brand new parts, which I purchased off eBay, and I went through Quidco, and you'll find a link in the description for Quidco if you wish to get some cash back off your purchases. And it's not just eBay, various other trade places, Wix, B&Q, TradePoint here in the UK, Screwfix, and also takeaways and other shopping websites where you might choose to purchase your goods from, and also your groceries as well, which surprised me when I found out. However, once you purchase them, you receive a percentage of the money back. It takes a while for it to come through, but you do get it back eventually, and the percentages vary from time to time, so sometimes it does increase. So it's well worth doing. It's like saving pennies up in a jar if you want to look at it that way, and you obviously get a bit of money back from what you purchase. That being said, today we're going to be changing these track rod ends, which I have here in the bags. I'm going to keep them in the bags for now, and very simple to do this job, but you do need to get your wheels tracked up to prevent this from happening, this towing in. So here are the two tyres that came off. They're off the opposite side of the van, so this should be this way around. So this is the left tyre on the front, and this is the right one. And basically what towing in is when your wheels, basically, this is an exaggeration, but this is what they will do when you're driving, is they will face in towards each other, or they will face out towards the curbs. One will face towards the curb, one will face towards the centre line, like that. Again, exaggerating it so you understand better, and that causes these edges to rub off on the tyres. And to resolve that, you have to track the wheels up, the wheel alignment, in other words. But to do that on my van, I'm going to have to change the track rod ends, which are these. Now, it passes the MOT with the track rod end, but the issue is getting them off, and it is very difficult. These tend to come off quite easy. However, the locking nut, which is there, is quite often just seized on and you can't get it off, so it requires some cutting and get it off, and you'll see in a minute when we go to the van what I'm talking about. So I've decided to replace them. Sometimes it's better to replace than repair, and obviously then it's good to go. There are a procedure you need to do to get these off, so you get them in the right place, but I will show you a basic trick for aligning your wheels. Now, I do recommend you go to somewhere and get them aligned, but it will make their job a lot easier if they can crack that nut off, because that is what's needed to get the wheels lined up correctly. So that being said, we'll crack on with the van now, and hopefully get this job done today before it rains again, and we'll see in a minute. So here's the wheel. As you say, we've been changing the tyres. We're going to need to refurbish this wheel a little bit. I did paint it myself, and obviously it's got scratched and marked. Now we're changing the tyres, but we'll be removing it. This is a 19mm socket. I'm using an impact driver, so crack the nuts off. If you don't have one of these, you just need to use a wheel brace or torque wrench and basically get it off that way. Nice new tyre, plenty of tread. Now, the van is supported by an axle stand, so don't worry about that if you're thinking what's he done. Think Jackie. So right, we've got the camera in position now, so this bit here is what we're going to replace with a nice new one. And as you can see by here and here, it is quite clogged up with everything from paint, oil, grease, whatever you can think of, and it's quite rusty. So the replacement is nice and shiny, straightforward enough, should fit. But the problem is this nut here. Now ordinarily, if this was a new car, this would come off straight away because it'd be nice and clean, but generally speaking they don't tend to come off that easily on older cars. Now just so you know, the track rod that goes into the steering rack does twist and turn. You don't need to worry about that, it's supposed to do. This is how you would adjust the actual track rod end, is by twisting that. Now normally on some cars there is a flat bar section, so it will be flattened off so you can fit a spanner on and twist it around. Unfortunately there isn't on this van, which is a little bit annoying, because it means you can't really get anything on it to grip it. So you have to find the correct spanner to fit it, which is 22mm, weirdly enough, and it might be worth just giving it a tap, making sure it's on, and belt with a hammer, see if it'll loosen it. I don't think that's doing anything, it's just slipping off. Yeah, it's not doing anything, that. So we're going to do another trick now and use a different tool, but to do this I need to move the wheel. So we're going to use the impact driver again, get the correct socket on it. I think it's 15mm, I'm not sure. It is. And it doesn't want to come off. Next thing we do is put the bar on it. Do it that way. What we do, tap. Now sometimes that'll just pop up, but very doubtful. This knuckle part of this van is actually new. Replaced it about 18 months ago for the MOT. Basically the wheel bearing wouldn't come out of the old one, we needed to replace it, so we ended up replacing the whole lot. So we just give that a bit of a tap. Like I said, just hitting them sometimes makes them come out. Now one of the things you can do is get one of these, hit it, and then if that doesn't work we have one of these, which If you've never seen one of these work before, you basically just slide this in to there, wind it down, so it fits. There we go, it's actually popped it off just by doing that. So like I said, because we're replacing that, don't need to worry about damaging it, I'm not bothered. What you need to remember is where it is on the bar, so you need to make sure it's more or less tight, and then when you're unwinding it, you need to count how many turns it does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 and a half. So as long as you know how many turns it's done, you know how many turns to put it back on at. So we're going to have one more go at getting this off. So we've got Lucy here. I'm going to clip her on there, and I'm going to put my other ratchet on. That one. You can see by the threads on this, it just, you know, it's all crudded up, so you need to give it a good clean before you put your new one on. So the new one comes with a new locking nut, which is exactly why I bought it, because I didn't think that was going to come off, and it has done. So it does help when you've got an impact driver like that, because it does give it some stick. So you could, I'm just going to offer this on, I'm going to put some grease on it, obviously. I'm just going to try and wind it on. Hopefully get it past some of the rust. Being a bit cleaner, it's a little bit easier to use a clean one. But we do need to get rid of some of this rust, I think. Need a wire brush, I think. Probably the best thing. So this is where it gets interesting, because the wire brush didn't work. So what I'm doing now is basically taking a hacksaw blade and going into the thread and just cleaning it out that way. It's like basically doing everything individually on the threads, because they're a little bit, I don't know, I think they got too much rust in there, but what I'm doing is I'm cleaning the grooves out, if you want to look at it like that, so there's less rust in there. It'll help the nut go further up the thread, which is what we want to do. This is a nice little, I suppose you can look at it like filing the threads with a, but they're just about the right size to go in the thread, so once you've done a little bit of it, just keep working your way around. I mean, in theory the nut should remove quite a bit of it on its own accord, but there's just too much crap in the thread to... and it literally just stops the nut going up any further. And also if the threads are damaged as well, that stops a lot of movement of the nut. Bit of a laborious job that, but it should have an effect on it when we get the nut back on, hopefully. Oh, it stopped there, but it's gone up a lot further that this time. So in theory now that should move. There we go. Little bit of fettling and then you find out that your nut will go all the way up to the top like that. That's all we need it to do, because obviously we've got the track rod end to put on. So what I would do is apply a bit of copper grease. This hopefully will prevent it from rusting, at least until it's tracked up again, and it helps the threads move as well. Right, here's the quiz question for those of you who are listening. How many times did we thread it back on? So it was, right, it's caught, right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1. So once you have it on, you can remove that plastic bit obviously. Now what I forgot to mention is you have a hexagon or an Allen key. I don't think that's the right one. Nope, it's not the right one. But anyway, you have an Allen key there if you wish to tighten it up. Usually when you're using a gun like that, it generally grips it straight away. So what we do is we place that back into the wheel, so that's fitted in straight away, so I must have it in the same position, and you can lock it off with that. Now I think this wheel needs to come in a little bit, so we're just going to do that for now and get it tightened back up. Now they do provide a nut, so this is the old one, so we won't be using that. So these are the old nuts that have come off. And that's the old, here it is. So again, bit of copper grease. Now, when it comes to tracking now, it's just a case of releasing that and twisting the track rod end, the track rod, sorry, not the track rod end. You don't need to remove that again. You just need to lock this off, and then twist the actual track rod, and it will obviously adjust the wheel alignment. I'll get this tightened up and then I'm going to do the other side. There we go. So guys, what I've done now is replace the wheel, and we've got the track rod's ends on now. Now I'm going to show you what I would normally do to help line the wheels up. Like I said, you're better off taking it to a laser tracking centre if you wish to get it done correctly and more precisely. However, this is a little trick to get you on the way, because chances are they might not be in line and you might rub your tyres off quicker than what you think, especially when you're getting round to driving around. You think, oh, I'll leave it for now, I'll leave it for now, and then next thing you know you need a new set of tyres. So this is what we're going to do. You put the wheel back on, maybe put a couple of nuts back in it for now. Then what we need to do, now in a tracking centre they have a tool that will do this. So what we're going to do is put the wheel so that it's level, remove the key and let the steering lock engage. Now in a garage they have a thing that fits here that holds that more firmly. However, we'll do this like this for now, and hopefully the wheel is in line. It doesn't look like it's in line at the moment. probably can't see this right well on the camera, but it is poking out that way a little bit when it's level. I did notice this when I was driving it, because the steering wheel wasn't level with the dashboard, it was tilted that way to get a straight line. So I did know that it was slightly out anyway. But what we'll do is we're going to use a piece of string from here, and I'll show you how I set it up in a minute. I'll just set it up and then come back with the camera. So this is what we've done. There's a piece of string which is roughly, it's just a little bit above the hub there, and goes directly to the other wheel. And I basically used a toolbox and an old tyre to get some tautness on the string. So what then I do is basically measure here and here to make sure the string is in line with this wheel first, which will make sure that it's in line at the other end. So when we get to the other end, we take a measurement from the same place on the wheel. You can immediately see it's over an inch out at that end, and about half an inch out on that end. Now the back wheels may be set further back than the front wheels, so effectively the wheel just needs to line up with the back wheel. So what we need to do is adjust that so that it spins around that way, and then do the other side. So you need to get back to your track rod. Now you should be able to just do this without taking the wheel off. Hopefully that's going to be easy enough to do. So basically what I've done is obviously adjusted it with a track rod, and using my tape measure, measuring there, it's just about on the 70 or 7 centimeters mark, and measuring it again here, and it's more or less spot on with the string. You're talking millimeters here now, and that's just a slight turn on the thing, so that should be alright now. And then we'll take it to a tracking centre and get it tracked up properly with a laser. It should be alright for driving though, but it'll line the wheels up better anyway with the tracking, a laser tracking. So we'll lock that one off and then do the other side. So guys, there we go. That is how you replace your track rod ends and do a basic wheel alignment. Like I've said, please take it to a garage and get it aligned correctly with a laser alignment system. The back wheels on any vehicle should be straight anyway, so that's why the tyres never really falter on the edges a little in any way. In other words, they don't rub off. So your front tyres, because you use them for your steering, sometimes get knocked out by for whatever road conditions, etc, etc. So when you do replace anything on your steering, please get it checked first before you do anything else. Don't leave it too long, otherwise you'll end up replacing your tyres again, and of course your fuel consumption goes up because your tyres aren't running true and straight. What I've done today is just to line them basically with a piece of string, and as I've just pointed out there, it is a basic setup. Tape measure, piece of string, line your back wheels up with your front wheels up, and you should be driving straight enough to get you to an alignment centre. That being said, hope you got something out of this video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want there to be more videos coming up, no doubt. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below for the products we've used and some of the other things that we do, as well as social media, etc, etc. So that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe like I said, and I'll catch you in another video soon.